All right, without losing your cool, friends, listen up. You're not going to believe who I have sitting in the hot pink chair with me today. It's her first ever in person Canadian podcast. I have got the one and only Countess Luann de Lesseps right here. She's going to talk all things, not housewives, because you already know enough about that shit, but we're going to talk about new stuff on this episode of Without Losing Your Cool.
Be cool. Don't be like, oh, I'm cool. I can't believe your podcast is called Losing Your Cool.
I know, right?
Because, well, not talking about housewives, but it's happened many times in my television career where people lost their shit. Especially Bethany. Life is not a cabaret. Well, I'm sorry to say, it is.
Okay, let me ask you before we get too deep. Okay, did the cabaret show come out of Bethany's nonsense, or were you already doing cabaret?
No, I was already doing cabaret, and that's what pissed her off because
So it was a dig.
I was already writing the cabaret. I was already performing in like the Jackie Gleason Theater, notoriously in Miami. I go to see my poster, and they're offended, and that I didn't bring them truffle fries. I'm like, really? I'm playing the Jackie Gleason Epic Theater, and I am allowed to go and see my poster.
Hello.
They're like, she dares to go for a swim on the beach. She dares not to bring us truffle fries. It's like, anyway, I know what that's all about. So I have to say that, you have to be really resilient to work in Housewives and reality in general, I think, because, people are just ready to take you down.
Well,
And yeah. And so, I've always fought to do what I feel like in life, right?
Yeah.
I've gotten to that point in my life now where I love who I want to and I cry when I have to.
see, I love that. And you know what? I have to tell you, okay, from watching back and knowing this, I think I have to say this as a Canadian female. I think your resiliency comes from being Canadian because both your parents are Canadian.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. Listen, I always say that my big family prepared me for the Housewives because I grew up with 6 brothers and sisters. The Canadians, they have a lot of children, right?
We need people to run the farms, people.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to learn to navigate a lot of people from an early age.
Yeah.
And my mother is 96. She's going to be 97 in December.
Okay, well, hold on, because you just said I've got to text my mom about my passport.
Yeah.
She's 96?
She's 96. Yeah, I just had lunch with her the other day.
Oh,
I took her out to the Red Lobster. She loves the Red Lobster. She loves lobster.
so
You
cute.
should see her fighting the claws of a lobster. It's pretty funny.
She knows the good stuff is inside.
She is tough. I mean, she raised 7
Wow.
kids, so she's, she was tough. She was really the one who was giving us the discipline. My
Yeah.
father was, working. My father's a contractor. I don't know if you know that because I know
No, I didn't know that.
I know that that Yannick's father is a contractor as well.
Yeah. That's
So-
I wonder if it's in their Quebec blood or something.
Yeah, it's got to be in that
Right?
Canadian blood.
It is.
But anyway, so she had to raise 7 kids. She had to deal with my father for all that time, which already kudos to her.
I think dealing with a husband is more work than dealing with kids.
Right?
to be
Well, they were
honest.
married for over 50 some
Wow.
years. So
That's beautiful.
yeah, beautiful. And so yeah, my mother is totally resilient and was always a great example for me.
I love that.
Mhm.
So where do you fall in the family?
I'm 6 of 7. So
Wow,
when I
okay.
was like 8 or 10, my brothers were 20.
Yeah.
So they were, it was the 70s, they were smoking pot and riding choppers,
Jesus Christ.
riding motorcycles and, we had snowmobiles, we were skiing, we were very active. We did a lot of sports. We played flag football and volleyball because we had our own team.
You did. Okay, so speaking about like you were outdoorsy, I did see on Love Hotel that you said you own a Boston Whaler.
I do.
I love Boston
Me
Whalers.
too. I love that thing. I have a Vantage. It's
Okay.
called Good Vibrations.
Of course it is.
I actually got it just 2 years ago now. And I love that thing. I
So
mean,
where do you keep it? In New York?
I keep it at my home.
Yeah.
I have a
Okay.
dock at my home.
No way. So
Yeah.
you're on the water.
I'm on the water.
I love being on the water.
Yeah, me too.
It's so grounding.
It is so grounding and so
Right?
relaxing. Yeah, I love it.
So what's your favorite thing to do in your whaler?
Is to take my friends out. We go to we have restaurants on the water, which
No
is so fun.
way.
Yeah, there's plenty of places to go to have lunch. There's, we have a place that's kind of like Saint Tropez.
What?
So yeah, called Sunset Beach. So we go there a lot. And we have
Okay.
DJs from France generally, and it's super fun. So there's a
Holy
lot
crap.
of things to do, by taking the boat in the water, and then we go swimming.
Yeah.
I'm not a big water sport person. Funnily
Yeah.
enough, I'm a skier, I find like water sports a little. I mean, it's like behind the boat, like
No, and getting waterboarded
and getting
waterfare,
waterboarded,
no.
and and then face planting. When it's like,
True.
right? It's like
It's so true because
Yeah.
we have a cottage, and where we have the cottage, I own the marina on the lake. So
wow, amazing.
my job is to like give the kids all the sugars, send them back to their parents completely jacked up, and then we go on in peace. But all that to
perfect.
say is that our lake is kind of small, and our marina is sort of the only place doing that, like where you can eat and
Yeah, great.
But I will tell you this: I feel like being on a lake, and I don't know how big your lake is, but because ours is kind of small, the water sports are easier to take up.
Yes,
I find because
For
you're
sure.
not
No,
in
well-
big open water.
right. Well, I'm not on the ocean, but
Yeah.
I'm on a cove, which is goes out to the ocean.
Yeah.
So we have high tide and low tide.
No way.
Yeah, and so it's by my house you can get out to the ocean. It takes about 15 minutes, because you
No
have to
way.
go, the speed.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
No wake zones.
Love no wake
right?
zones. People
No
either
wake
go
zones.
plowing through and make big wake, or
Right.
they go,
Yeah. So well, in the Hamptons you get pulled over by the polizia, so we don't do that.
Do you guys have to have licenses?
Well, they just put a law for the state of New York
Yeah.
that you have to have a boating license. Now, when I got a boat, so my first boat was, oh my God, I had it wasn't a whaler, it was a sea hunt. I was going to call it a sea hunt.
Hey, I mean, I was gonna say to you, I was gonna say to your outfit. Now that she said the word, I can say when I saw you, I was like, you inspire me so much because you are so comfortable. You are always serving, and my girls say this like, when somebody's really fashionable, it's like that is so cunty.
Yeah.
Like you are just
Serving
always
it's become a
serving
thing.
cunt.
Serving cunt, it's a thing, and that
I love it.
that line became more famous than money can't buy you class or be cool, don't be like all uncle, because what happened is I do a cameo,
Yeah.
cameo, you give, messages to your fans. And so I was asked to do a cameo for these girls, and they were like, please say keep on serving cunt. And I said it, but I felt embarrassed to say it because old fashioned terms of this word, right? So I say it like I'm 9 years old, and then I giggle. I'm like, keep on serving cunt. And it went viral. It went viral. So I don't know what she did with it, but it went viral. I mean, Madonna did it, like the biggest queens. Oh, unbelievable. So I made a whole video out of it. Keep on serving. Made a song out of it.
Did you really?
I
In
did.
your
Well,
cabaret?
somebody else made a song, and I kind of, adapted it into my show. But
That's hilarious.
I know, it's hilarious. So you just never know. Like when I said on the show, when we were in St. Bart's or Turks and Caicos, actually, to be cool, don't be like all uncool. And Andy Cohen calls me up and he goes, Lou, you have the line of the season. I'm like, what? And he goes, be cool, don't be like all uncool, and the sunglasses and the robe on. He said, it's epic. And I'm like, really? Okay.
You're like, what the
You know
fuck?
what I mean? No.
Wonder what do you think about like serving cunt? What do you think he'd think about that?
Oh, he loves it. Andy loves it.
loves spice.
Andy loves it. Oh my God. He's the first one to stir the pot.
Oh, I know. When you watch him, sometimes you're like, Andy.
Oh, I know, right?
He's like, he gives that little glint in his eye, and he
Yeah.
looks at the camera, and then he like nails you.
Let you have it.
I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Right.
Doing that show, being on that network,
Yeah.
being in the hot seat with Andy is not for the faint of heart. You got to have your shit together.
Yeah. Well, I've been, trying to get my shit together for years, and since then, I've done Crappy Lake with Sonia. I don't know if you've seen that show. And then recently The Love Hotel. So I've been doing a lot of other shows for them, which is great.
Yeah, I love that for you because I think that when I watch The Housewives, my takeaway with a lot of it, I mean, my favorite right now is Potomac.
Really?
Yeah, the girls on
everybody has their
Potomac
favorite.
crack me up.
Really?
And then Beverly Hills is a little too guarded.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they're being so careful.
Yes.
I'm like, this is not interesting anymore.
Right.
Whereas Potomac's like, woo!
Let's go. What
Yeah.
about Salt Lake? Do you like
You know
that?
what? Our girls like Salt Lake. They were watching Salt Lake. They apparently get messy too.
Yes.
But you know what I have to say? One thing is I want to ask you the question, and this is the only kind of way I want to touch on Housewives. what was your why? Because you were already married. You were already an established artist in your own right. You were a model.
Mm-hmm.
You'd been all over Europe working.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end up married to the Count.
Mm-hmm.
You're in Europe. You come back to New York. What I got to know, like, from that Luann to the Housewives Luann, like, what was the arc and what was the reason you said yes?
Okay. Well, when I was a nurse in Connecticut, right?
Mhm.
And I got scouted to be a model in New York. And so when I
The
went to New
hottest
York,
nurse in
all
Connecticut.
the models were talking about Milan and Paris and all that. So I said, well, I want to go to Milan and Paris. And so I've always been very curious. I knew early on that this was not it for me. Like,
Yeah.
Connecticut was not where I was going to stay. Don't ask me how, but I just kind of knew. And then I went to nursing school, and then I got scouted to work in New York. So slowly, I was getting jobs and going back and forth. And then I decided to move to New York. Then all this talk about Europe, I was so curious. I wanted to go to Europe. So I moved to Milan. And then, I met the Count. I worked for Italian television for 3 years.
Right.
I was a
You were
star
a
of a
host,
TV
right?
show out there in Milan, which was amazing. The best time of my life. And then we lived in Switzerland, and we were coming to the Hamptons to our summer home,
Yeah.
every year. And then I went to a party and I met Jill Zarin. Jill Zarin comes up to me and she goes, I'm doing this TV show. I think you'd be great for it. And so kind of the Housewives kind of came to me.
Yeah.
But the decision to do the show, because I was married to
Yeah,
the
because
Count
what's
at
the
time.
yes? I understand.
Well,
I know how it
the yes is
happened.
that he's traveling all the time. the
Okay.
Count, right? And he's really kind of looking for something for me to do. And I'm looking for something to do myself.
Amen, right?
Having gotten bitten by the TV bug in my days in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get back into television. And so, when Jill asked me this, it just kind of came to me. And, and at the time my husband was traveling, and I thought, perfect. We decided together that we would do the show. And the kids were young. I mean, they were like 8 and 10 at the time.
So having had your kids on TV on the show, if you could go back in time, would you do it again? Would they do it again?
Well, I think, kids at a certain age, they're just going along with mom,
100%.
right? And I didn't have them on the show a lot because I didn't want to put them in harm's way.
Yeah,
I didn't
which
know
I
how
love
this
that.
is going
It
to
was
go.
very little.
Yeah, I kept them very little on the show because it was really about me and my life with the girls.
Yeah.
It wasn't really about the kids. But we watched Aston come home as a puppy. And Alex, the Count was around then, so we'd see him very rarely.
Mhm.
He would grace us with his presence every once in a while. And then slowly, he was spending more time in Europe. I was doing the show, and et cetera. And for many reasons, the marriage didn't work out. But I got, 2 fabulous children from that, and a career.
Yeah.
And I was happy with that. I mean, it almost killed me that, he basically, had an affair and, ended up leaving. So that was heartbreaking.
Which is interesting, right? Because here you are in your relationship. And I find this fascinating in so many relationships, myself included, in that you're in a partnership and that partner is like, go find your own thing, go do your own thing. And then you go, and then somehow they end up feeling neglected, and then they step out and
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is, so it's very difficult as women to
balance.
Yeah, to balance, but also to have the courage to be like, okay, well, I want something for myself. I deserve something for myself.
Right.
Because obviously you're a very creative woman, right? And the arts are in you and a part of you.
Right.
So I can imagine how, when that happened, that would have been like all the feelings.
He was my whole life until the Housewives came along, but that had nothing to do with my relationship. I mean, I was struggling in the first seasons of the show with my marriage, and so my marriage was already kind of going south.
Right.
So I feel like the Housewives came along at the perfect time. A good distraction for me because things weren't working with us. So
right.
And then I met Jacques shortly after that.
Yeah.
I don't remember Jacques, but Jacques was incredible, and he was great on the show, and he was, supportive and there for me and great with my children. So I've been, very lucky in terms of that. I mean, it's never been my problem meeting boys.
No, I saw you on the Love Hotel. They were
boy.
for you. I was like, holy crap. Okay, I want to get to the Love Hotel because I have so many questions about that. But just to sort of wrap up the conversation about the relationship, and something I always wonder, because um, I always say this to people. People will say to me, well, what do you think? Why do you think you and Yannick are 37 years in? And honestly, I think the only reason we work is because, one, we're in the same town, but
That makes things a little easier.
It's a little easier. But also, I think, in a partnership, both people have to be willing to fight for it at the same level. If one person wants to fight harder and the other person doesn't, there's nothing you can do. Like I've always said to my girls, you can't force someone to stay where they don't want to be.
Right.
And you can't take somebody from somebody who doesn't want to go.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So would you say having those relationships play out on TV, do you think it helped you heal and having the audience around you, having some of the girls that were obviously actual real good friends to you there to, lift you up and love you through it?
I
Them, both the breakups?
Right. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have this place to be creative. I mean, being alone with 2 children, right? Raising children alone and not having anywhere to go or something to do.
Yeah.
I would find to be more difficult. I got busy. And I did have supportive girlfriends on the show. Some more supportive than others. Let's put it that way.
Let's just leave it there.
And so I think it would have been a lot more difficult if I didn't have, the housewives and have the women around me. They were, for the most part, a lot of them were very supportive.
Yeah.
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 When they weren't trying to figure out, what's wrong with her? Why is she always out by herself? Why is the count never there?
Right.
So I had that too.
Yeah.
So, but for the most part, I had, I've always had really good friends outside of the housewives, just in general.
Yeah.
In my life, I have really, top-notch friends that I know I could call in the middle of the night and they've got me.
See, that's cool.
That's the most important. I mean,
that is the most important.
More than, than any boyfriend, at the time or whatever. I mean, Jacques was, was the opposite. I mean, Jacques was just fantastic. He kind of swooped in when I needed to have the partner,
Speaking of swooping in.
Yeah.
Love Hotel. James was swoopy.
Yeah. I know.
Where are we at? Where we're at, James?
Well, listen, I have a show coming up in Hawaii. Wonder how that happened.
I wonder why.
So,
okay.
So I'm still in touch with James. I adore James. I mean, what did you think of James on the show?
You know what? I kind of went back and forth. First things first.
His voice is a little quirky.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you said that. James, no shade. You're lovely, but the voice. I was like, Luann is such a, you're such a powerful, confident, prominent female. And I was like, is she really can she really do the voice?
Well, it took me a minute to get over the voice. It did. But his personality made up for it.
No, he's got a great personality.
Such a great personality. He's a creative like me, plays guitar, writes music.
I saw him write you a song.
Exactly, for the Love Hotel. So that part, I really fell in love with. The creative, fun, kind of I feel like a little girl. Right.
Yeah. I did see that in him. And you know what? I have to tell you, being of a certain age at 56, I have to.
You don't look 56.
My face is only 6 years old. It's new. It's new.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you. But you know what? I will say this is that I got it because at 56, I want more fun.
Yes.
I want more levity. Why does everything have to be so fucking serious?
Right.
Why are we so serious?
I'm with you on
You
that.
are so not serious.
I'm so
and
not.
I mean that respectfully.
Right. Well, I think you've seen me grow into the person I am today.
Yeah.
I was serious on the Housewives because in the first seasons I was protecting my family.
100%.
So people always say that you were such a countess and whatever. Also, they build up characters, right? So they never show certain parts where we're not so countessly, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of build characters at the same time.
For sure.
But my story arc is I went from that to, doing music videos with naked men everywhere. So
yeah.
Of which Ramona said she didn't want to be in my video because of that. Avery would be so, look, I would love to, but Avery would be so angry. Anyways,
Really?
All right.
I trust you. Most of those men were not looking at Ramona anyway.
Well, you'd be surprised. That Ramona is a great wingman, I'll tell you.
No, but I mean, she didn't need, her husband did not need to worry
Right.
with dancers. Naked guys.
Right.
I think they were okay.
Right.
They were more involved with themselves, making sure their abs were flexed,
Yeah,
making sure their biceps were curling.
And he was watching the girls walk down the sidewalk too. I mean, you'd be wondering.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Remember
you
that?
know what? Thou doth protest too much, no?
Right.
When husbands are like, got their finger on you that hard, you got to kind of wonder why. What are they worried about?
Exactly.
But no, so James and Love Hotel.
So James and I are in touch. He came to see me in Lake Tahoe. He surprised me at one of my cabaret shows. I saw him in LA after the show. We had the premiere party out in Los Angeles.
Oh, right.
At Phil's house. Phil's the guy that left alone.
Yeah.
That Giselle couldn't quite wrap her arms around.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you think of Phil and Giselle?
Well, I felt there was no real chemistry there. I mean, and you know,
but do you think she's really looking for love? Because I'm kind of getting the vibe, Giselle, if you want to come talk to me, I got some questions for you too. But she doesn't really, even on her own show.
Right.
I'm like.
Right. I
she's
don't
lone wolf
catch a lot
bit,
of the Housewives franchise because it's my
it
was my work.
It's
so,
your past,
right? So, but she is a hard nut to crack. You're right about that.
Well, she's a Virgo female.
Yeah, and I feel like
she says that a lot. She's like, I'm a Virgo female.
I'm a Virgo. But she's gorgeous, right?
Yes!
She's gorgeous. But I got the sense also that she wasn't really that interested. And Phil, come on, Phil, give her a kiss on the lips.
What was that too?
Just move in.
I know.
Put your hand on her hands.
Something.
Get close to her face. Something.
Same with the guy. What was the guy with Ashley who was always getting his feelings hurt?
Oh.
Wale? No.
Wale.
The man did not lay hands on her once, and then he was mad that she was talking to other men.
Right. And I'm the one who said, go and give her a love note.
Yeah.
Let her know that you're interested.
You were the best wingman for him, and he still fumbled the ball.
I know.
And then Ralph.
I feel like Ralph was just, for her, too old.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Which.
Too old and also didn't make moves.
Yes.
Right away. You know what I mean?
It was so weird.
It's like, we don't have time to play here, kids.
I know. But James was making all the moves.
James was not afraid to profess his love for me.
So cute. It was nice.
Adorable,
it was nice.
He's a cute
he was off the charts, but I was like, I get it. And he was fun.
Yeah.
There was lightness around him.
Yes, lightness. And I love my life. I love a person that loves their life.
You know what? I loved the scene. I have to say, probably of the whole season, my favorite scene was when you walked into the dining room.
Yeah.
After, what's his name? Earl.
Mm-hmm. Earl the Pearl.
When he just went off.
Mm-hmm.
I loved how you stood up.
Right.
And you were like, we don't do this.
No, we don't gaslight. We don't make people cry.
Yeah.
This is not the place. But, I feel like, Shannon has not had great luck with men.
I know, which was, I really wanted her to find, but she was really hung up on him and he gave her all the signs and you saw them right away and you lined them up.
Yeah. Well, and also, he lives in Atlanta, in a very modest home. And I feel, and Giselle hit the nail on the head when she sat him down and said, Shannon, she's expensive. Right. And what does he do? He turns his head like, I don't know anything about expensive women. Right? And I thought, red flag, run.
Yeah.
Right?
How'd you get here then?
Right. I know.
How did you get in a hotel with a room full of expensive women?
I know. Well,
I'd love to see his audition tape.
I know, right?
Can we call that back? Can we ask Andy to play that for us?
Listen, they found, first of all, when they called me, they said, hey, Lou, we've got a show for you. We're going to send you to Cabo for 3 weeks. We're going to pay you, of course. And we're going to find you guys. I'm like, good luck with that. I mean, I never thought I'd meet anybody on a show like that.
Right.
And I did meet James, which was great. But they found the guys on dating apps. Also on where else?
Open castings.
Yeah, dating apps on Instagram. People that were like putting themselves out there, kind of. Yeah. So I don't think I would have ever met James if it wasn't for the show, for sure.
No, I mean, how would you have, right?
Right.
Because in fairness to all of you, your DMs are closed. They're, you know what I mean? Like people can't just reach out to you. It's
Oh,
not
people
like you're
DM me all the time.
really.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I'm not checking the DMs every day. I've got
Well, that's the thing. You
people to help me do that. Thank God.
Yes. Yeah. Thank God. Thank
Thank
God.
God.
Thank God. And James has probably got your DMs on lockdown. And
Oh,
he was so cute with the boys. He
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
my girlfriend. This is my
yeah,
girlfriend.
this is my
This is
girlfriend. I know.
I love her.
And they thought he was delusional. And at the same time, we really did,
Hit it
bond.
off.
Yeah.
So I guess it's fair to say that you love. You
I
believe
do. I'm
in
a
love.
hopeless romantic. Yeah. And I even sing in my song, Mary F. Kill. 3 times the charm. So catch me if you can. Yeah. So it's all about, 3 times the charm.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm
Yeah.
dating a little bit because James is in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So it's easier to get to Paris, which is true.
It is
Much
so
easier to get to
true.
Paris. So that's difficult because he lives there and my life is in New York.
Yeah.
So, but James is like that. James has no ego. James is like, fly like a bird, Lou, as long as you know I love you and I'll always be here. So he's like that, which is, it's great.
It's refreshing.
It's refreshing because he's not like the ego guy,
Yeah.
when am I going to see you again? And,
Yeah.
you're my girlfriend and this kind of thing. James is very open like that.
That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's super cool.
Super cool at this point in life.
Well, sure.
Right? And that we live on way other sides of the planet.
Well, the time change too alone, even to just
get
connect
a phone call.
and get a phone call, right?
That's true, yeah.
That's wild.
But I speak to him all the time. He's always sending me pictures and videos.
That's so cute.
Because he's a grandfather. He's got like a 3-year-old.
I know. Did he tell you that after your date, right? After your outdoor date?
Yeah.
He was talking about his kids and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And I think it's also super important because did Ralph have kids? Did he maybe?
Ralph did not have children.
No.
Oh,
no, the one guy, the surfer guy who was
Ralph
like,
have kids?
I'm just
no,
here.
Ralph did have kids.
Yeah, it was the other guy.
Right.
Who was the surfer who I don't think he'd ever been married. He was the first. Jack. Was his
Jerry?
name? Jerry.
The first guy.
The first
silver
guy.
Fox?
Yeah. You went on the.
I turned around and walked away.
You went on the walk and you're walking along the beach and he's like, we are on a date. And you're like, I'm done. And you just like turned around and walked away.
Well, there had a lot going on before that in the
100%.
seashell, right? But, I was asking him about his life and what he does. And I surf in the morning, I surf at night. I love sunset and I love sunrise. And I'm like, well, what else do you like to do?
Yeah.
Well, when I go on vacation, for example, do you like to travel? Yeah, I like to go surfing. I'm like, but you surf every day in any case, right?
Yeah, in any case.
Yeah. I'm like, not for me. I like somebody who likes to travel, who likes to discover the world.
Yeah.
Doesn't do the same thing every day. And then, what do you like to cook? Do you cook? Because my dream is to marry a chef at some point.
Really? Well, who wouldn't? Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, so nice. A health food chef that makes everything delicious.
Right.
And you're like,
yeah.
Like that, right?
Okay. Speaking of health food chef, have you ever been to Calavi?
No.
It's okay. So it's a spa retreat in Irving, California. So between LA and San Diego. Mm-hmm. And the people who own a football team or a baseball team, anyway, it's a couple, and they brought all these buildings from France. Mm. And they made this retreat where you go.
It's like a chateau.
Yeah, like a chateau. And you get spa treatments, but you also, the chef there is making like gluten-free, like all these meals that taste like heaven.
Yeah.
And you're eating like a queen and you leave thinner. You're eating like a queen.
That's
but if you love travel and you love like the spying thing and good food, I would go there. I think it would. Yeah. Calavi. I think you would like that.
Okay. I love retreats.
I know, right? Well, you were just saying you were at Joe Dispenza.
I dive into spirituality because I feel like if you're grounded, it's very hard to screw it up. If you lead your life with love in your heart and not calculated mind, that you generally are much better off.
Do you feel like there is a time where you were not leading from a spiritual place?
Absolutely. I mean, I just, how I discovered spirituality is through the divorce with the Count. I mean, I was devastated and I wanted to run my car into a tree so he would have to come home to see me in the hospital. That's how broken I was.
I understand that.
So I discovered Deepak Chopra. And that's how I discovered spirituality. So I went to Chopra in Carlsbad, California, and random people were hugging me. Excuse me. Random people were like hugging me, and I needed the love of others. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And I discovered yoga, meditation, and I went, oh my God, there's actually a soul in here, right? Because we're so busy running around that we don't go in,
Yeah.
right, to check in with ourselves,
Yeah.
right? So
I
it
agree.
really helped me learn that there is
Something else going on.
this soul in here that needs nurturing and care. And so that's when I got even deeper into spirituality and yoga, meditation, and recently I went to Joe Dispenza, who is, who's really, I think, has been a mentor to a lot of these people also.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And
Tony Robbins and all that.
so with having been a model when you were younger, do you think any part of being in that line of work and being on TV, do you think that helped in creating the disconnect between you and your soul and your spirit? Or do you think that you weren't even in touch with it prior? Like, was it ever disconnected, or was it just
I think that
never connected?
Right. No, I was always connected. I mean, I grew up Catholic.
Okay.
So I was always had the higher power,
Right.
And I always thought that, church was my first meditation. You go to church and you're quiet and you sit there and you pray and you go inward, right? So that was my first experience really with spirituality that I can remember. And I think that excuse me, I think that diving into the television world, even in Milan, I mean, I used to think about being a nurse and missing it. I was a TV star, but I was missing being a nurse because, the connection and giving to people. I had so much, it gave me so much back. You know what I mean? It gave me so much more in return of being in service, right? Yeah. So I missed that actually when I was modeling in Europe. And so I kind of lost it there. And then I got into television. Then I got married and had children.
And then you're just busy.
And you're busy. And then, the Housewives came along, busy. And so I think that I brought it back to spirituality after I had this tremendous heartbreak. Yeah, I sought again spirituality even further after my breakup.
Yeah. So how did that work, co-parenting, when you're on opposite parts of the world?
Well, the kids would go for holidays. He would come and visit them. So it was kind of a lot of back and forth on his end. And we would go to Switzerland also because we still had a home in Switzerland at the time. So, but we had such great years too,
I love that.
Yeah, we met and we got married 2 weeks later.
I know, that's wild.
We were married for 16 years. So
that's wild.
It was a great run.
Love affair.
And it was meant to be. It was a love affair.
Obviously.
And these 2 children come from that, love.
Yeah.
So there was no should we have children? I'm going to get pregnant or none of that. It was, we got married 2 weeks later. We had Victoria within a year. Cute. And then my son within 22 months after. So, so they're very close in age.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Our 2 oldest girls are very close in age too. It was fun having them like little pals.
Right. Pal around.
Yeah. Palling around, keep each other busy, wear matching outfits. They had matching outfits. So let me ask you this, just in regards to after like the Housewives and the marriage, was there a time where you wanted to retreat after the Housewives, where you were like, I just don't want anybody to know my business?
Well, it happened for me. I didn't have to walk away. The season ended. Then they had a new cast, and then I got Crappy Lake. So I got another TV show, which I had so much fun doing. I don't know if you've seen the show, but it's like
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you have to watch it with Sonia. You're gonna laugh.
Oh my God,
you're gonna laugh your ass off. So it's like The Simple Life meets Schitt's Creek.
No.
Yeah, it's very much like that. But we actually go into this town and we help a lot of the locals get their town back. It was after COVID, during COVID.
No way.
We were filming during COVID. So, I put together a show, which is a variety show for the town.
Oh my God.
We built a playground for children in a neighborhood that needed it. We helped at the dog shelter and put an outdoor dog run because they didn't have it. So the dogs couldn't get outside. So we did a lot. We did murals so people would come and have their pictures taken. So we made it kind of a destination, and even the motel we stayed in, motel, not hotel, darling, motel, one room, came from my house in the Hamptons,
Where?
6 weeks in the middle of, I mean,
Summer.
Southern Illinois. Oh, darling, you could fry an egg on the car. I mean, it was really hot. And,
Oh my God.
and you know,
But see, that talks
so
to your
that
spirit.
show-
You're like an active service person.
exactly. So I love doing that show.
Yes.
And I love also helping women find love again. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I've had that show in mind for years, which is a lot of the housewives are single,
Yeah.
right? Because the
Which is-
housewives curse.
That's what I wanted to
Because
ask
what
you. Do you
happens
think
is
there
that-
really is?
That the housewives go like this. And they're like, okay, where are my earrings? You know, and the husband's sitting over there in the corner, you know, and she's like, bye. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's very hard to keep a marriage on the housewives unless you are in it together. Like you said, you know, you both have to put in the effort in order for it to work.
But there's not, I mean, if you look at it, it doesn't seem like any of the men, and whether or not those husbands were the catalyst, like they were like, babe, go do that thing.
Mhm.
Like, is it almost like they're not man enough to handle their wives becoming these larger than life people, having
Well, I think
fans?
that-
Like, what do you think is going on there?
I think it totally has a lot to do with that. I think that, you know, men like to be in the driver's seat. And now, you know, wifey's becoming famous and she has no time for me.
She has her own bank account.
And she's got her own bank account. So, you know, I understand that too, because probably not what they signed up for. Right.
Right.
But we evolve and we grow and we do what we want to do. Right. We need to be free to
Amen.
express ourselves.
Yeah.
Amen.
Well, because the thing is, when you look at marriage, men just wander around being men, being themselves all damn day long. Nobody ever says, like, what do you think your wife's going to think about that?
Right.
Right? Like, they just go and do their thing.
Right.
But then you watch, and you know, our daughters, we talk about this ad nauseum because we are Taylor Swift fans. It's like, you know, you've watched it play out in real time for her. Right. You know, she's had famous boyfriends the entire time.
Right.
And even though she had famous men who were successful in their own right, some reason her light was too bright.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
absolutely. And I think that that's a threat for a lot of guys.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, marriages are hard to maintain in general, never mind doing it on television.
Yeah.
So, you know, that adds, you know, that extra layer.
Yeah. Which is difficult. And I loved also too that you had that boundary around yourself. Whereas, and you say it all the time, is that my bedroom door was always closed. Like there were parts of you in your life that just are not for consumption by the public.
Exactly. Well, that and, you know, and my children. Yeah. You know, they didn't sign up for the show. I did.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not about them.
Yeah. And what are they doing now? What are
the kids, well, finally you should ask. Victoria just said to me like 2 weeks ago, she's like, Mom, I've been watching this Next Gen. I mean, I'm your daughter. I mean, I should be on Next Gen, don't you think? And I'm like, well, yeah, but you never really were interested in television.
Yeah.
And so recently she's becoming interested because she likes the show.
Okay.
And she likes the girls on it. So I said, well, okay, so
we'll reach out.
Let's talk. So anyway,
But didn't you say she's a medium too?
She is a medium. She's a psychic medium. So cool. She's amazing. I was with a girlfriend who I've known for a long time, and she goes, we were talking about death and dying.
Yep.
And she goes, you lost your brother. And she goes, yes. And she goes, just 46 years old. She was like,
I'm gonna goosebumps.
And then she goes, he's here, but he's got his back to you. Because he feels bad that he left. Because they were like this really tight. They would talk for 5 hours a day. They were so tight. And she saw him. And she knew how old he was. That he died tragically. He was a diver. So
oh my God.
Died tragically. Oh my God. Look at her. So sad.
I'm dying. I'm so upset.
I know.
That's
anyway, so she lost her best friend. And Victoria, so he was there. He was there. And I guess he said to her something like, he feels bad because he
feels like he left her.
Yeah, and out of his own selfish pleasure, which was diving. Anyway, so she is a psychic medium, and she's also a singer. You know, Victoria sang on The Girl Code with me. She was on Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Live, performing with me that song.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and she's a great songwriter and a great singer. So I said to her, you know, go on Next Gen. You pursue your singing.
100%.
Yeah, and also you can probably help them out with your psychic mediumship.
Yes.
So
Let them know when they're like
she'd be a
got
great
on the wrong
asset.
path with the wrong
Right,
person, and
exactly.
avoid that bus.
Yes.
Don't get on that flight.
Right, exactly. She's like that.
Okay, let me ask you though, like
And
Karen,
Noel's a painter. My son Noel
right?
is
I know you said he's an
unbelievable painter.
artist.
He's an artist. He's a painter in New York.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he has a show coming up in New York, a solo show, and then he has a show at the Basel Art Fair in Miami. So
Really?
yeah. So he's making his way as a painter.
Okay, we're gonna put in the show notes where they can find and see.
Noel de Lesseps, on Instagram. You should check out his work.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah,
I'm going
really
to,
good. It's
because
great.
Yannick's grandfather was an art teacher. Like, he was a professor in Montreal,
Oh,
and we have
amazing.
some of his original paintings. We have the
What
most
kind
in
of
the
art?
family. I want to say oil
Okay.
landscape.
Okay. How funny, because
I think.
So Alex's grandfather was a
Mhm.
landscape painter, but watercolors.
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 Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'll show them downstairs. You'll be
Okay.
able to tell me, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure oil has like more of a build to it, right? Like
right.
watercolors are flatter
Yeah,
on the canvas.
exactly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I'm pretty sure
Right.
I'm right on that.
Yeah,
I can't even draw stick people.
I can't draw a rabbit. Can't even draw a rabbit. Never mind a stick figure.
Can't draw
But that
anything.
too, me
It's
neither.
wild.
I'm a performance artist.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
an artist. You got
Yeah.
the gift of gab.
I do have the gift.
I know. I love that
Oh
about
my
you.
God. My family, they wish I didn't. My mom used to be like, when I was little, she would be like, there's 3 ways you can communicate with people. You can telephone, you can telegram, and you can tell a Shantelle.
I love that.
So
I
I've
love that.
tried to get better as I've aged.
Yeah.
But okay, so now with your kids doing their own thing, what is the greatest advice you think you've ever given your kids?
The greatest advice don't take yourselves too seriously.
Yeah.
It's not that important,
Mhm.
right? At
Yeah.
the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I think, not to take yourself too seriously, and have a good sense of humor, because that goes a long way.
Yeah. It is.
Laugh at
true.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's important. And whenever I got into a situation like on the Housewives, Bethany, for example, you screwed around with everybody in New York, blah blah blah, and goes on and on. And I said, "Oh, am I the Kim Cattrall of the family or what?" Because if you go against somebody who's got this sort of anger or attitude,
right,
it's just going to get worse, right?
Yeah.
So the best way, I think, to treat things or people that have that kind of energy is to change up the energy. And I do that with comedy, and that's why I love the cabaret, because I get to create whatever I want, sing whatever I want, tell stories that I want to tell, and joke about it, and I put together a whole video package of everything terrible that happened to me in my life, right? The worst headlines, the worst moments in my life, etc. Put it together and tell a story about my mentor who said, if people aren't talking about you, you might as well be dead. And then I get into singing Bonnie Raitt's People Are Talking.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to not take yourself seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Self-deprecation goes a long way. And so do compliments.
So how do you manage? Because, sure, you're not on 24/7 Housewives and anymore.
Mm-hmm.
How do you manage? Because you're still out there.
Mm-hmm.
You're still out there as an artist.
Yeah.
How do you protect your spirit from, because I find the world is just getting meaner, and it's almost like people are reveling in it. Mm-hmm. So how do you counter that?
I try not to let what other people think about me be my truth. It's not. It's maybe theirs, but it's not my truth.
Yeah.
So, and after doing this for so long, I've built, kind of a thick skin. Mm-hmm. And I protect myself in that way, meaning that you can't hurt me, like you could have maybe 10 years ago.
Right.
Right. So I've learned not to care what people think, really, and just do what makes my heart sing.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Because I get my backup. For example, right now you just did Murdoch Mysteries. The season premiere was.
I know, it was so great. It was so much fun. And you came to set, which was
I
great.
did. I had to. The first time we couldn't, because I don't know what the hell was going on, but we didn't come on set the first time. I think it was a whirlwind the first time you were here because it was in
Yes,
between your
I was
shows
in
all
and
over
out.
the
Yeah,
place. You were
I
in
was
and out.
Yeah.
So we were kind of bummed. And it was in Hamilton the first time, which was
Yes.
like the middle of everywhere. And it was a snowstorm, my
Yeah.
daughter just said. And it was a snowstorm.
Yes.
So there were all the reasons. And
Yeah.
we had it on good authority. You were coming back.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we bid our time. But is that your first time you've done scripted?
No, I've actually done Law and Order.
Right. I do remember
Royal
that now.
Pains,
Yeah.
couple of scripted shows. But I'm certainly, they haven't been doing shows like that in a long time. So
No.
it was great to have the opportunity because, I mean, it's such a huge show.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the show. It's 19th season. Your husband's amazing. He's
Thank
a
you.
huge star, and everybody around him, I mean, are
Yeah.
amazing actors. And so
It's a
I
well-oiled
felt
machine for
very,
sure.
yeah, but I felt very, they made me feel so comfortable.
Good.
It felt like a really big Murdoch family.
Yeah.
And they couldn't have been more supportive and amazing. I had so much fun. I was actually surprised. I was like, for me, it was important to know my lines so
Yeah.
that I didn't hold anybody up in terms of shooting and schedules and all that stuff. So that
What
was
a relief.
That was a little nerve wracking. I was like, oh God, I gotta get shit together. Anyway, that
An
was the
actress
most
who just
challenging.
want to know her lines.
I
We
want to
love
know
that.
my lines. And I didn't want to make anybody wait. So
Amazing.
and your husband was great. He was, he was
Yeah.
directing and
Yeah.
helping me in that way. And he was just incredible.
Yeah. He loves doing what he does, which is really, really good. After
Yeah.
19 years, you'd think you'd be bored. But,
Wow.
I think it's all kudos to the team, right? The writing team keeps it
Yes.
interesting and keeps it fun.
Yes.
And just stuff like you thinking outside the box to bring you in the Countess. Right?
I-
It was wild when, and watching you on there, it's just like,
Wow.
you fit right in, and the wardrobe looks fabulous on you, which is like not a big surprise. You look great in everything. A garbage bag would look good on you. But so when you think about acting, would you ever see yourself going into acting full time, not reality and not even your cabaret, but like doing a TV show?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. By doing this, it made me realize that I could actually do this if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So,
are you pursuing that?
I'm going to pursue it more.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm going to pursue it more. I've got other projects, that I'm working on. I'm working on a new song, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah, because the show you were going to is not cabaret.
It's not cabaret. It's the Lunaverse. So it's really what I do is I show clips of the most iconic moments on the show.
Yeah.
Ones that I have personal stories about. So I kind of,
Take
peel
us
back
through
the
it.
layers and take a deep dive and go behind the scenes of what actually happened. Like only I can tell it.
Right.
So we kind of spill the tea on that, and then it's a lot of fun. And then I open it up to the audience so they can ask me what they want to ask me, and I can't leave without giving them some money. So. So we do a little money can't buy a class kind of thing, but it's super fun.
good.
Yeah, and because not everyone can have, the big band, a grand piano and drum sets and the bass and a huge band. So, so we made a show for venues that
don't fit that.
That don't fit that, or
But I think that's
don't have the budget also.
Right.
Yeah.
But I for me personally, like I love all aspects of somebody that I'm a fan of. You know what I mean? Like I want to know
Right.
your why.
Right.
I want to know what really was going on, because obviously we all know everything is edited.
Yes.
And they have timelines, and
Yes.
it has to fit in. It has to
Right.
all squeeze into the box.
Right.
So, a lot of the explanations behind the why a scene ended up on screen the way it did gets left on the cutting room floor.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And
Exactly.
it gets painted to do a portrait.
Absolutely. So, that's why this show is so much fun, because it kind of breaks down these scenes and, that people know and love. So,
Yeah.
I've been having a lot of fun with that.
That's cool.
Playing different places also.
And how many shows are you doing of that Lunaverse?
Well, I'm going to be tomorrow night here at the Danforth Music Hall, and then I'm going to Los Angeles to the Catalina Club on actually the 10th and 11th.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm playing Honolulu. By chance.
By chance. Just by chance.
On the
Just
16th.
in time for the holidays.
Just in time for the holidays.
Okay. Now I want to ask you another thing. Your book, Etiquette.
Yes, Class with the Countess.
Okay.
I'm working on an audio version of that.
Good.
Which is ridiculous that I don't have one.
Yeah.
So
How all these years later.
I know.
Okay. And in the audio version, are you going to do edits, because Lord help the men
Yeah.
who go to dinner with their hot as fuck girlfriends in their sweatpants.
Oh, I can't.
You got to do something for the men.
Oh, well, I'm definitely going to add a chapter on dating for sure.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Because a lot of people have been asking me about it.
Yeah.
And I think they saw me in the Love Hotel and they're like, help me out here.
Right.
So yeah. So I'm going to add a next chapter. It's called a next chapter.
What do you think is the biggest thing that we've let go of as a society as far as etiquette that you would like to see make a comeback?
Just common courtesy. Do you know what I mean? Respect for others. I feel like people, could give each other more compliments and respect each other more and be courteous.
Yeah.
Let somebody pass you by on the sidewalk. Open the door for a lady.
Let a woman merge in traffic. I had a guy run me into a construction car today.
Wow.
Because it was a one way. And I was already engaged in the turn because the construction guy was flagging me through.
Yes.
And his back was to the oncoming traffic. And
Right.
this guy in a pickup blew right by
Oh no.
the construction guy. He jumped back and he came at me. I had to pull over.
Wow.
And like literally I was still in motion. And the construction guy was like, I can't believe that. He goes, he just came from nowhere and he didn't stop. Like, what is going on? It's a mad world.
It's a mad world. And I had that happen to me recently too.
Really?
Oh, where it's like, really, dude? I
Yeah.
mean, come on. What happened to being a gentleman? I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, listen, men will typically say that women don't know how to drive, which is untrue.
Untrue.
Men don't know how to be chivalrous.
That's right. I mean, chivalry is not dead. I mean,
It's not.
Not with the people that I know, but then you run across people, out on the street that almost run you down.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's so wild out there.
It's wild out there.
I love that. And I think you should do the audio.
That's for
Your
sure.
voice is perfect. And the book, I got to hear you read that book.
Right. I think you would. I mean, I've been putting it off for a while. I've not really been putting it off.
Well, you're just a little busy. You're a little busy. Okay, with the cabaret show, when you construct it, do you keep it? Is it the same show all the time, or are you changing it up like a tour?
No, I change it up all the time.
Wow.
So this Lunaverse is one thing. Then I have the new tour will be the Love Tour. It's going to be more about the Love Hotel, and the music will reflect on that. So will the stories, because that's how I build my show. I pick a song that I love, that I know my fans know, because I don't sing anything that people don't know.
No, I've seen
clips. So it's like a big sing along.
Yeah.
And then I pick the story that's going to get me into the song, and then of course I pick the perfect Giovanni outfit to wear with it. Like if I do cover Tina Turner, what's love got to do with it, and that'll probably go into this next show. I have to pick the dress that's all legs.
You have to. Well, you've got great legs.
No,
okay, tell us, what is your workout routine? What do you do? Because I saw you in your bikinis, I was like, Luann. And I was like, when she sits in that chair, I'm gonna ask her, what the hell?
Well, I'm active, right? So I don't work out a lot.
You don't?
No. I work out a couple times a week, maybe.
What?
Maybe twice a week. If I'm lucky, but I'll play tennis, or I'll go on my boat, or I'm always moving around.
You're moving,
like you. Right? You're an action figure like me. And
I can't stay still.
Yeah, I can't sit still either. So that the adrenaline and keep busy and all that kind of stuff, and of course I try to watch what I eat, right?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a great trick. I learned this from.
Let's hear it.
We
want to know
the best spas in the world. So number one is we tend to drink cold drinks while we eat. Mm-hmm. So I went to an Austrian cure, and the first thing they teach you.
Did you go to Lanzerhof?
No, I went to the Meyer.
Okay.
The Meyer Clinic. Anyway, so the first thing is that you don't drink 20 minutes before you eat, or 20 minutes after you eat, because it waters down your digestion. When you think about food, you salivate, because this is where digestion happens. Next thing is when you do have food in your mouth, chew 30 times, right? We're not breaking down our food enough.
Yep.
To,
we eat too fast.
We eat too fast. And those are really the two things, really, is not drinking while you eat. And that's why Europeans are thinner, because they sip wine. They don't drink big drinks, cold drinks. Do you know what I mean? Like in America, you have the big gulp and all that stuff.
You're right.
Yeah. So That's a big factor.
And their glasses are this big anyway when you go out.
And the third thing is not eating after like 7 o'clock at night.
Really, and you hold to that.
I try.
Mm-hmm.
I try. I'm not
Well,
great
your
at
lifestyle too, like when you're on the
Lifestyle.
road.
And what we do
time
is we
change.
eat at night too, which is the
Yeah.
worst because when you eat at night, then we're creating insulin to break down the food, et cetera, sugar, et cetera. So it's just not good to eat at night because it just offsets the digestive clock.
Well, and also too, as women, as we go into menopause, we're already dealing with poor sleep, right?
Down.
So the later you eat, the harder
Right.
your body's working to digest. You're up in the middle of the night with indigestion, like all the reasons why to eat early.
Exactly.
You know, I got into a bad habit going way back to Yannick and his shooting schedule, especially once the girls moved out. We didn't do it so much when he was filming because I had the girls to eat with, to sit down and have dinner with and not eat alone.
Right.
But as they all moved out and went on with their lives, I found like I didn't enjoy after whatever many years of having a family and eating as a family. I didn't like sitting down and eating alone.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
so I found that I started to wait for him to come home.
Right.
And so my eating got later and later and later. And I think that is a big thing.
Totally.
Big thing that I need to flip on its head.
Right. Well, and I've got the same problem when I do cabaret.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat a lot before I go on stage.
No, because you're in all those beautiful hot outfits.
Well, and also, you get tired, right?
Yeah.
If you eat, you have it uses your energy.
Yeah.
And so I'm hungry after the shows.
For sure.
Right. So that's a hard thing for me.
Yeah.
And believe me, it pains me to go to bed hungry, but sometimes I do.
Wasn't Elizabeth Hurley? Wasn't she the famous one who said you always go to bed hungry if you want to keep your figure?
That's right.
I think it was her, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it was her, but whoever it is, they're not wrong. It's like, who was telling? Oh, I was with Jeff Lewis yesterday. He cracks me up. He was with Kelly Ripa. And he goes, she is like a twig, Kelly Ripa.
I know.
And he goes, but you know what I did? I took a picture of her and I look at that. When I go to think about eating something, I look at a picture of Kelly Ripa and I don't eat. I go to bed hungry. She's my inspiration. She's like a twig.
You know what? She's also sober like 100 years too.
Yeah.
She and a group of her girlfriends, I read this, they did many, like literally 100 years ago, Sober October.
Right.
And
she never went back.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's been like 15 years or something.
Oh yeah. The drinking definitely packs on the pounds.
I know, right?
But I do love a good glass of wine, don't you?
I do. I love wine.
Well, I spent years not drinking.
Really?
Yeah. I've been sober for 2 years.
Have you?
Years ago, yeah. Then I went back on the Housewives. Started boozing again.
Listen, I watch the show and I'm having a drink. I gotta calm my nerves. I can't imagine being on it. You're like, oh shit, I need another glass of wine.
But I did do like Crappy Lake. I did sober, and the Ultimate Girls Trip. I think Kyle. One of the reasons why Kyle stopped drinking was also because I was sober. And she's like, "You're so much fun without drinking." I'm like, "Yeah, you can have fun without drinking." I mean, it takes a hot minute to get used to, but once you're used to it, then you feel so much better.
Well, do you think the reason for that is because if you have a social life, which you do, everywhere you go, they lead with alcohol.
Right. It's about the drink. Let's speak for drinks.
When you're at a restaurant, they put the menu down.
Yeah.
Cocktail side up.
Totally.
The first thing they ask you is, can I get you something? And they don't mean Coke. They don't mean water. They mean
cocktails.
Well,
don't forget that's where they make their money at the bar.
100%. Even some restaurants here in Toronto, they'll stand you at the bar, even though there's tables empty.
Right.
So they want you to have a good quick one before you go to the table because you spend more. Because let's be honest too, like when you're sitting down and you're having drinks, you stay longer, you eat more.
Right.
You get yapping. Speaking of yapping, and I have to bring my phone up because I don't want to miss any of this. Okay. I want you to do two things. One, on Love Hotel, you said something that I found really, really, really interesting. And I wanted to dive deeper into it with you.
Okay.
What did you call it? The 7-year cycle. You were talking about relationship and
well, so I went to an astrologer through a very dear friend of mine who's actually English. And she did online for me over the phone, etc. Like
your chart,
did my chart. And anyway, she said to me, you're going to find love again before the end of this year. I know it's before the end of this year. That's what happened in Love Hotel kind of
Okay.
situation, right?
Okay.
So I divorced the Count in 2009.
Mhm.
I married Tom in 2016, 7 years. I divorced Tom in 2017. Didn't last very long. 7 months, actually. 7. And
Wow.
now where are we? It was at the time 2024.
7 years.
7 years.
Huh.
Right. And so I say that because for me it is, and I was told that through other people as well, not just this one
Wow.
astrologer. In
Wow.
fact, when I was unhappily married and soon to divorce the Count,
It was a 7-year cycle?
she said to me, oh no, before that, actually, years before that, this other reader said to me, you're going to be happy in 5 years. I said, 5 years? 5 years? And, sure enough, a younger man, and he will come along and be about 5 years. And it was Jacques.
Wow.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then how long were you with Jacques?
4.5 years. Yeah. Yeah, we're together.
So you're
right
with him longer than Tom?
now. Oh, yeah. Well, Tom was a blip on the screen. Blip. Or as Dorinda would say, clip. Clip. Clip, clip.
Oh my God. He made for good TV. And then he was made for
Oh my
good,
God.
like not TV, not.
No, he was not made for TV, but it's not about Tom.
It's not about,
Let's not make it about Tom.
it's not making about Tom. So that's wild.
Yeah. So that's what the 7-year thing is. And then remember that one guy on the show? He had the same birthday as my father.
Okay, I didn't. I'm glad you brought that up.
July 17,
I know.
70. 7. I'm
I
like,
know.
I had to get up.
Why did that throw you?
I don't know anybody born on my father's birthday. And it was like,
Really?
Yeah. Because July is the 7th month.
Right.
17th is my birthday also.
Yeah.
And 70. I'm like, 7.
Yeah, so many sevens.
I know. It just freaked me out. I was like, and at that point, I didn't know Adam. So I thought I
Right.
might have kind of liked him.
Yeah.
So it freaked me out that
Yeah.
maybe this person who has
Right.
my father's birthday could be my next husband.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
this is weird.
This
and
is too much.
Yeah. So I had to go. I don't know why. Just had to get up.
And what were you thinking of while you removed yourself from that scene?
Why am I having such a reaction? I was thinking to myself. And I thought, I guess my father must be here. Because I had also a medium say to me coming off stage one night, who came for a meet and greet, he said, your father is here with you on stage. I said, I know. Because I can feel his force field. Because my father was a very strong man, American Indian also.
Wow.
Part American Indian. His mother was an American Indian. And so I just feel his presence. I feel that force. Like when I go on stage, me and my director, we say to each other, kill the people. Get out there and kill them. It's like, get out there. And you know what? I work best under pressure.
We've talked about finding love. We've talked about fighting for love. We've talked about the breaking down of love. Do you feel like in your relationships, do you recognize the time where the relationship took a flip and it started to break down? Like, are there things that people should be paying attention to that maybe they're missing?
Well, I think that specifically with men, when they start to, do things without you, travel without you, not miss you, not call you, not share with you, when they don't communicate. I think for me, the perfect example is my husband at the time, the Count, had a partner who was very gregarious and very, kind of like having lovers. He was married, but, I knew he was cheating on his wife.
Right.
Right. And I thought, oh shit, this is not good company for my husband. That was a red flag for me. Right. And I thought, oh, the more he came around, I said, oh boy, this is not good. So I think the red flags are there. And I think it has to do with, the way somebody looks at you. I mean, I think, from just that, you know, is it
Yeah.
the same look? I mean, I think I know at this point in my life if somebody's off or somebody's connected,
Yeah.
right? Are we connected or have you turned off?
Right.
So I think that's something to really look for is, you know, the distance, that somebody distancing themselves from you.
Yeah, and I think that I that really resonates for me personally because
Mm.
I think we can wrap so much in like, well, they're busy or they're tired or they're this or they're
Mhm.
that, and we give a long runway,
Right.
you know, and we allow for new habits and patterns to take hold in the relationship
Correct.
before we start asking questions. And
Right.
then by the time you kind of wake up and you're asking the questions, it
They're
can be
already out
too
the
late.
door.
Yeah, they're already out the door.
Well, like you said earlier, you know, you can't make somebody stay, right? If they want to
Right.
leave,
Right.
right? Well, the famous expression, you know, set the bird free. If it comes back, it's truly yours.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And if it doesn't, it never was.
right, right.
So would you say in relationships and also friendships, are you a end quick, cut it off fast? Or are you like a mega second, third, fourth, 100th chance kind of person in a relationship?
I'm more like, you know, if you cross the line,
Mhm.
you've crossed the line. Now I've got a bad taste in my mouth or
Mhm.
that feeling in my gut.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm more of a let's just stop it here. Like you saw my first day in the Love Hotel.
Yeah.
I'm out.
You're like,
It didn't take me long.
no. Did take you,
Right?
and I know it's cut down and edited for TV, but that was
No,
something I did
that was real.
respect.
That was real. And like I said, I love who I want to, and I cry
Yeah.
when I have to now. So that means I don't put up with a lot anymore.
Good.
I've learned to respect myself more,
Mhm.
trust myself more, and love myself more.
I love all of that. And because you've said that, I have to ask you this question. Is there anything that you are doing now for yourself that you wish you had implemented sooner, like a change that you've made or some way that you're honoring yourself today that fuck you wish you'd done that sooner?
Probably like discovering spirituality sooner. I mean, rediscovering, I should say.
Rediscovering, yeah.
Really rediscovering spirituality because I feel like I let that go to the wayside. And I also think that I was complacent in a certain way. I think people become complacent. It's, you know, it's easy to do that because, you know, you're good.
Well, you start to believe
Oh,
your own
it's over
press a little
there.
bit too, right? Like
What's that?
you start to believe your own press a little bit. You're
Right.
like, oh, I've got this. And then
Yeah.
you're like, oh shit, I always need
Right.
a higher source to
Right.
be
Yeah.
attached to.
And I think that's when things start to happen. I think when the further you get from who you really are and your heart of hearts, right? That's where you run into problems, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, for me, I was running around working and kids and husband's traveling and, you know, so just it can be overwhelming. And I think staying centered is really the most important thing you can do for yourself.
So the things that you do to stay centered in case somebody's watching right now, and they're like, you know what, I need to regroup. I need to find a new center for myself. What would you recommend?
You know, what really works for me is I do positive affirmations. It's really helpful. Like
love
I am
those.
enough. I don't need another person to make myself feel important or to be important. So I think positive self-affirmations because we talk so negatively to ourselves
Oh my God.
all the time.
So quickly, it's a go-to, right?
Right? We're the first to take ourselves down. So, you know, positive affirmations. I like to meditate and I like to do yoga. Yoga really keeps me grounded. So all those things, or, you know, just taking a bath,
I know.
nice bubble bath and just
Slowing down, right?
Slowing down because, you know, I tend to do that myself. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like running and speeding. And then I'm like, okay, wait a second. You just stay home tonight, take a hot bath. You don't have to go to that party. You don't have to show up everywhere. You know, it's about taking time for yourself and you know, nurturing yourself, pampering yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too, is nurturing and pampering yourself instead of waiting for somebody else to invite you to do it.
Right. Or
right?
Pampering others and forgetting about self. Because as women, we tend to do that. As also, we want to take care of everybody. Everybody has to be good before I can be good, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
really, if mother's not happy, nobody's happy.
Nobody's happy.
Mhm.
Nobody's happy whatsoever. And on that note, what would you say is the greatest self-love advice you've ever received?
Self-love advice I've ever received.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm always the one giving self-love advice.
I know you were great at it. Those girls were lucky to have you on that Love Hotel with them, honestly.
Oh, well, they're great. Let's see. I say it all the time, but I'm going to say it again. If you don't think you're fantastic, nobody else will. So love yourself, and then you can go out in the world and love everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But it starts here.
Yeah.
Mm.
Amen. Okay.
Amen.
Now this is the last question. This is it. I promise. And I
Girl.
don't want to miss any. Rapid fire. Don't think, just answer.
Okay.
Favorite fashion house?
Gucci.
Yeah. Okay.
I like Gucci.
I do like Gucci too. I do like Gucci too.
Old school Italian.
Yeah, right. Okay, prefer living in Europe or the US?
Besides Giovanni.
She loves Giovanni. We knew that.
Besides Giovanni,
We know.
I'll take a little Gucci Gucci.
A little Gucci. Prefer living in Europe or US?
Right now, I prefer living in Europe or Canada.
Yeah. Well, you can come
I
here
got to work on my
anytime.
Canadian passport.
Hey, I'll help you. We'll help you. I told you about that. But off camera, we were talking about it. I think I might know a way. Okay. Live cabaret or studio recording?
Oh, live cabaret.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why I asked you
I
that.
love
I kind of
live
knew that.
audience.
Sweatsuits ever? Sweatpants?
No.
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 Okay. I gotta change my ways. Cardio or weights? I feel like, you've kind of already asked this.
Both. I think, so what I do, if I do work out, because you asked,
Yeah.
okay, 15 minutes on getting the
Elliptical,
heart rate up,
something.
cardio, whether it's, running, walking something faster for cardio.
Yeah.
Or it's a fast walk,
Yeah.
uphill or whatever.
Right.
Then I do 15 minutes arms, weights, legs,
Wow.
and abs.
Nice.
1 hour, each body part, because you have to burn.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to work one area.
Yep.
Instead of like going legs and go to arms and you go back. I mean, you
I
can.
know that's the new way of training, but I don't know that it works so well.
I don't know. Everybody has their system and their way. But for me, I think it's important to stay focused on one area and really work out that, one area.
I agree with you.
Mhm.
I think I like that
Yeah.
too. If you could go back, would you go back to Housewives if New York came calling?
Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
oh my God. Okay. What's your favorite language that you speak?
Italian.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah, I love Italian.
Yeah, I would too. Marriage or companionship? What are you looking for next?
Companionship.
I know. I say this to Yannick all the time when I'm like, do you want to move out? Should we have our own places? I always say, you would probably get married again because you're a man. I would not.
Right.
I would just need somebody. Come, let's have a little dinner. Let's have a little something.
Kiki.
Go.
Yeah.
Get out. Don't sleep over.
Right.
Don't move in. Take me on trips. Do not move in. I just
Right.
want a companion. I would not want marriage again.
Exactly. So that's why I'm loving my life right now.
I know. Well, James
Having a great
is
time.
free bird. I love that.
Right.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if I can ask you this or I'm going to ask you this because I think we're close in age.
I just turned 60, girl.
Did you? See, I thought you were younger than me. I thought you were just
No, I'm
like
60. This is 60, girlfriend.
This is 60, girls. Okay. Do you think sex is better now than before?
I think probably better now.
Right? Me
Isn't it?
too.
Oh, good for you.
But isn't that?
And you're married.
I'm married.
That's great news.
No, but don't you find there's a freedom that comes with menopause?
Yeah.
No more nonsense. And it's just
Right.
the sex is better.
Yes, because I think you've learned what you
Right.
want.
Yes.
He knows now what you want, so perfect. Now you get time to perfect it.
See, I didn't know if I could ask you that.
Yeah,
Thanks
of
for
course.
answering that
Yeah, of
honestly.
course.
Yeah, it's better, right?
It's better because I feel like at this point in our lives, we know what we want. And I think we're not afraid to ask for it.
I agree.
Mhm.
That's the big thing.
I think that's the big difference.
That
is
is-
knowing how to ask for it and get what you want.
Okay, and on that note, because you talked about pee a lot, how does James have a big pee?
Well, I'm gonna
Private plane.
private plane. Yep, he's got a big private plane. Let me just tell you that.
Luann loves private planes, and
I
who can
do.
blame her? She's the Countess after all. Anyway, thank you so much. It's such an honor to sit
Thank you,
down and chat
Shantelle.
with
That
you.
was
I
so
really
much fun.
appreciate it.
Thank
So,
you.
so much fun.
Thank
And you
you.
guys, you know where to find us. We're going to put where to find Luann and her very beautiful, talented children in the show notes. And remember, comment, follow, subscribe, and ask us any questions that we maybe didn't answer, and we'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.